Patrick Deng is a popular young sales trainer who gives the worst advice. He worked at Oracle for a few years and then hung out his shingle in order to be a sales trainer and coach. Well, folks, I'm going to be honest with you on this. I'm very skeptical of the advice he gives. And in this video, we're going to go into that. I had over 40 years of sales before I even started my business. Don't get fooled by these youngsters who think they know how to sell. What would happen, though, if you took the challenge of following Patrick's cold email advice and then following my cold email advice? Which one would win? I think mine would. In this video, he gives quite a few weak tips. I'll play part of the video and give you the best way to write cold emails. Here we go.
Video, you're gonna learn exactly how to write the perfect cold email to turn total strangers into paying customers. Hey, it's Patrick Deng here. Welcome to my channel where we're gonna talk about all things sales, marketing, and entrepreneurship. Now, during my time as a sales rep in Silicon Valley working at Oracle and another Y Combinator-backed startup, I sent thousands, literally thousands of cold emails to generate countless of meetings. But
I'll stop right there. He said that he worked for a tech giant, Oracle, and he sent thousands of emails and he got good results. Well, first of all, he worked for a nationwide, international actually, brand name. So when he used the Oracle brand name in his cold emails, of course, people might have responded to that because of the company he represented. Of course, he would have gotten some response, but he never nails down what that is. Did he get one response out of 2,000 emails he sent? Did he get 10 out of 2,000? Did he give 100 responses out of 2,000? He never says.
in the beginning, it could be very frustrating when you're sending out your first campaigns and nobody is really responding. And here's the thing, after coaching thousands of people around the globe on how to write cold emails that generate meetings, the reason for why most people fail is because number one, they have a little bit of an ego and they think they're really good at writing cold emails, which they're not. Number two, they think that their product and service is so great that everyone should automatically just take a meeting with them.
So I've coached thousands of salespeople too, and they've come to me because they need help in writing cold emails and in cold calling. In the sales process period, it was never about their ego. So I'm really curious about why he said that.
Is show you a simple but very effective way to write your cold emails to skyrocket your response rates so that you can start turning strangers into customers. And make sure you watch until the end because I'm going to give you my special cold email template that you can use for yourself. All right, so here's what we're gonna do first. First, I'm gonna give you an example of what not to do. And I'm gonna show you an example of someone who sent a real email to me. But for the most part, this is a real email that someone sent, and we're gonna break it down and show you why it doesn't work, and we're gonna show you what actually works. All right, so let's get into it. So this person started off with saying, "Hi, Patrick, crazy times, huh?" And that's obviously because of the corona going on right now. And this person says, "I heard online learning is on the rise now. What about you? Is it a good time to strengthen your R&D? Well, right off the bat, I have no idea what he means by strengthen your R&D, so I'm not really sure what he wants. So now he says, "I'm John from Demosoft Web Agency. Glad to meet you. My point is pretty simple. Would you like to get benefit from our experience in the online learning domain and decent developers? If you are anything like ready to discuss a potential partnerships, just drop a line. Kind regards, John." Okay, so breaking this down, I have no idea what this guy does or what value he can bring to me, right? Normally, if you write an email to someone, you're trying to offer them something, but I actually have no idea what he has to offer. It's too vague, and there's no reason for why I would respond to this email. Second thing is that the grammar is really off, so maybe he's from another country and maybe English is not his first language, and I understand that. But if you are writing to, let's say, a Western audience or a Western company, you definitely want to make sure that you use some kind of grammar check to make sure you're writing your email properly, or else people aren't going to take you seriously. So if you're writing emails like this, don't worry about it because I'm going to show you how to fix this up real quick using what I call the pain formula.
In the sales training world, the pain formula isn't unique to Patrick. He didn't just make this up. This is something all of the sales trainers and coaches have been using for decades. I mean, decades. We have used this. He calls it the pain formula. I called it cold email structure. Everybody has their own unique way of branding that template. It's not his. We've all used it.
The first one is having a relevant intro, introducing yourself and like what you do or why you guys should be connected. Number two, we're gonna talk about the customer's pain. What pains does this person experience? And number three, solution. How do you solve those pains? And finally, you're gonna have the call to action. What do you want them to do next? And you wanna make sure every single one of these elements is extremely clear. So let's go ahead and give you an example of the email that I wrote, and you can kind of get inspiration from it and use some of the elements in your own emails.
Now, in this video, there's two major components that Patrick totally misses. And it's in the intro and it's the call to action. So we're going to go through, keep watching. We're going to go through all of this because I want you to learn how to do it the right way.
Example, I'm going to pretend that I have some kind of marketing agency or content management agency, and I'm writing an email to myself, right? So I'm this person trying to sell to Patrick Deng, right? This is how I would write an email to myself. So let's go ahead and get into it, right? The first part, like I said before, is the relevant intro. So I'll say, hey, Patrick.
This is the biggest mistake. Hey, Patrick. In business, when you've never met the person, they're a prospect, they deserve more respect than hey, Patrick. As my dear old dad would say, hay is for horses and cows. I always train to have respectful greetings, either hello, Patrick, hi, Patrick, dear Patrick, good morning, Patrick, good afternoon, Patrick, but never say, hey, Patrick. First of all, you don't know who that email is going to, whether it's going to a 20 or 30-year-old or whether it's going to a businessman that's 45 plus and wants to be called and treated with respect. Hey, Patrick just isn't respectful. Always go with the respect first.
Out your latest YouTube video on, and then whatever that video is about, and I thought it was great, right? Very, very relevant because I'm posting a lot of YouTube videos. If this guy understands I'm doing that, he is on the same page as me. Now, number two, we're gonna go into the pain section, right? Keep diving deep into what is a person's pain. Hopefully you find a really deep pain so you can solve it. So I can say something like, after watching the video, I checked out your website and noticed you weren't running a blog yet, which I'm not. With all the high quality content you've been putting out on YouTube recently, it's surprising you haven't started converting those videos into blog posts to capture more organic traffic to your website. Now, this is actually something I've been thinking about. I've been putting out all these videos, but I also have a website, but I don't have a blog. And it would be really easy for me to turn my YouTube videos into articles or blog posts that people can read, and I can generate traffic and make money from that. So if someone wrote me this email, it's very relevant because it's exactly what I'm thinking about. And if they have something to solve this problem for me, I am a lot more willing to take a meeting with them, right?
Now, I don't have a problem with any of the pain points that he's talking about. I do have a problem, though, with it not being concise enough. So when you're doing cold emails, first of all, the emails have to be short and sweet. They have to be concise. The language has to be tight, and it has to be right to the point.
But it's all about context, understanding who your customer is and what pains they have. Now, the third part is all about the solution. How are you gonna solve these problems? So in this email, I'm gonna say, now, if you're interested, my company helps YouTube content creators like yourself start highly ranked blogs using your YouTube content you already made and converting them into high quality blogs.
Okay. This is the difference between a rookie that's doing cold emails like Patrick and myself, who's done cold emails for 40 plus years. I would never say, now, if you're interested, I would never say that in a sales conversation or in an email. The automatic response is, no, I'm not interested at all. In this section of the solution email, I'd ask some questions. I wouldn't be pitching my product and services as soon as Patrick did, because right now he doesn't even know if they're a fit. So I would ask some questions in that solution area and then provide for the prospect a few tips.
We handle all the tech and content management, making it extremely simple for you. Some of our clients include Client A, Client B, and Client C.
No, do not list your clients there. Instead, you should say something like, we've helped other clients like your business. You can find their case studies and their testimonials below the signature line. I would just put it like that instead of going into client A, client B, and client C as some kind of dropping their name in order to inspire them to respond to your email. Again, not everybody works for Oracle. Not everybody works for national companies or international companies that have national brand awareness. So this would never work for medium-sized to larger businesses that are regional.
Started with the pain, right? You're not getting this extra traffic by turning your YouTube videos into blog posts. Then I'm providing a solution. If that's something you're interested in, I can do that for you. Super simple, super easy. All you have to do is say yes, right? I try to make it as easy as possible for the other person to understand what I'm talking about.
He's pitching his products and services. You never want to do that. Just like in a cold call, your only goal is to set an appointment. The same with the cold email. Stop pitching.
And agree to take a meeting with me. And the last little thing I did there is I included some clients that I worked with, right? So what you want to do in this situation, if you have past clients relevant to the prospects you are currently reaching out to, you want to name drop them. You don't really have to say what you did for them because it would be too long. All you want to do is mention like, hey, I work with these people. They're similar to people to what you're doing. So it's very relevant. And if I see that, I'm like, oh, he worked with these people that I admire. Well, I want to take a meeting with this guy, right? So now that you got the solution down, the next final step, and this is where most people get it wrong, is having a clear call to action. Meaning, once somebody reads your email, what's the next step you want them to take?
And this is the biggest fail in this video. He is setting you up for failure if you follow this advice. Stay with me, I'll give you mine.
For a cold email, that next step is to ask for a meeting. So I would say something like, so if you're interested in learning more about how we can help you get more organic traffic with blogging, let me know what your calendar looks like. And you could also have a variation where, let's say you have something like Calendly and people can schedule a time.
One of my pet peeves is, and I want you to strike this from your emails, from your vocabulary, everything, and that's two things. If you're interested, and let me know if you have any questions. Here's the problem with this. You are the sales rep. You are responsible to follow up with that prospect. It is not the prospect's responsibility to reply to your email or booking an appointment on your calendar. Now, it's fine if someone books an appointment on your website calendar, but I always caution everyone, don't throw your calendar out there. It's your responsibility to book that appointment. When you leave it up to the prospect, like, if you're interested or let me know if you have any questions, what you're doing is just sitting around waiting for the prospect to respond. And be honest, how many have ever responded by saying at the close of an email as a call to action, if you're interested, or let me know if you have any questions? Rarely do prospects do that because it's not their job. It's your job. So what you should say instead is, I'll give you a call Tuesday at 1 o'clock and answer any questions that may surface. That's all you have to do. I'll give you a call on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that surface. And then on Tuesday morning, you'll send a courtesy email saying that you'll be calling at 1 o'clock to answer any questions they may have about the email you sent them on such and such day. Always be prepared that if you get a voicemail, you've got a compelling voicemail message to leave that's under 30 seconds. That's very important.
Time on your calendar, you can end it with, feel free to schedule a time on my calendar, right? Whatever works for you. But if you do it this way, like in the example, if you just ask them, like, let me know what your calendar looks like, usually they'll give you a time and day on when they are free, and then you schedule a meeting through there via email.
No, they won't. You're not going to get that kind of a response from your everyday prospect. Isn't going to happen. They're not going to take the time to read your email, then go to your calendar. Do what I'm telling you to do. This is not a call to action, folks. This is shirking the responsibility off to the prospect. This is what I call lazy selling. It's now the prospect's responsibility to book an appointment or to respond to your email. No, it's your responsibility. Have I beat that dead horse enough?
You sign it off, best John, or whoever, whatever your name is, right? So now that we've kind of put the whole thing together, if you kind of look at it, this is basically the pain formula structure that I showed you in the beginning. We have the relevant intro, we understand the person's pain, and we really make it hurt so that when we provide our solution, it makes it a lot more appealing. Finally, once they understand the solution, you have a clear call to action. Don't say something like, hey, drop a line, because that doesn't make any sense. Like, what do you mean drop a line?
And Patrick, it doesn't make any sense to say, so if you're interested. That is a very weak call to action. You give a clear call to action by saying, I'll give you a call Tuesday at 1 o'clock, and I'll be happy to answer any question you may have about this email. That's all you have to do. That's a clear call to action. Okay, folks, I challenge you to try Patrick's method and then try my method and see which one works better. Just keep in mind, if you don't have a product or service that you're representing that has national or international brand awareness, I really want to strongly advise you not to use Patrick Deng's cold email. Use the structure. As I said, we all train to use that type of structure in every email. But in every email, it doesn't matter if it's a cold email or it's a client email. Just make sure that you're being respectful and not saying, hey, Patrick, but actually address the person with respect and make sure your emails are concise, direct, and tight. The language is tight. In other words, you take out all the filler words. I would love to know in the comment section below if you're willing to try this challenge and if you're willing to tell me how it went for you. And I want to invite you to subscribe to where you're getting 40 plus years of sales advice, not a couple years working at Oracle. And remember, sales is a journey, not a quick trip around the block. Bye-bye.